Welcome to our dreadful historical podcast. Oh, Skulls, that's great. And today we'll be talking about the Khmer Rouge and the Cambodian Genocide, all of which can be related to the United States Air Force.
Oh, yikes.
Let's get into it. The Khmer Rouge were aligned with the Communist Party of Kampuchea, which is what they like to call the country of Cambodia.
Kombucha?
No, Kampuchea, meaning the Kingdom of Cambodia. The Khmer Rouge was started in the 1960s, and they were the armed wing of the CPK, short for the Communist Party of Kampuchea.
In Cambodia, a coup successfully overthrew their monarch, leaving Prince Norodom Sihanouk out of power, making ample room for the Khmer Rouge, an unpopular group, to rise to power and popularity when they formed an alliance with a disposed prince to fight for his throne, which would eventually lead to the prince's exile.
Exactly. After the Khmer Rouge helped win the civil war with the Alliance and the extreme rightists, the Khmer Rouge exiled Prince Norodom, giving Marxist leader Pol Pot power over Cambodia.
So basically, the start of the end?
Yep, pretty much, and it gets worse. With Pol Pot in power, he decided he liked how things were run in the rural northeastern part of the country. They had self-sufficient tribes, subsistence farming, and were much like communes.
So they became communists?
Katie, no.
Oh.
They were much like communes working together, untainted by the evils of money, wealth, and religion. Good one, though.
Thank you. When Pol Pot isolated Cambodia from the rest of the world, he then got rid of currency and banned all religion from the country. He also moved all of the city residents to farms so they could be farmers and grow their own food, successfully eliminating any need for currency.
Sounds great, right?
Wrong.
The intense labor required caused many injuries and, in some cases, death.
Speaking of injuries, the Khmer Rouge guards overseeing the camps abused the farm workers.
That's right. And not only were they suffering from intense overworking and abuse from the KR, but they had no idea how to farm and failed epically. This led to starvation.
Pol Pot saw the suffering of his citizens endured and decided to execute anyone who was an intellectual or even appeared to be an intellectual, such as wearing glasses or being able to speak a foreign language to prevent any sort of rebellion.
We'd both be dead.
Oh, yeah, we would.
As part of this effort, the KR created special centers for torturing middle-class educated citizens.
One of the most infamous ones was located in the capital, Phnom Penh. Over the course of the KR's 4 years in power, approximately 17,000 men, women, and children were imprisoned here.
During what is now known as the Cambodian Genocide, between 1.7 and 2.2 million people were killed or died due to the conditions.
So, to put that number in perspective, that's almost the entire population of Chicago.
Oof.
Okay, moving on. We mentioned earlier the fact that the U.S. Air Force had an impact on the Cambodians as well. And you might be thinking, this Pol Pot guy seems pretty bad. What could the U.S. Air Force do with it? And yeah, he was pretty bad. But during the whole time during this, the U.S. was bombing Cambodia to try to make them stop communism, not the actual killing.
Since 1965, the U.S. had been bombing Cambodian villages in hopes of making them stop being communists.
But the genocide?
That's completely irrelevant. We had no idea about the genocide due to the isolation of Cambodia. We just really hated communism.
Butter side uppers versus butter side outers.
Isn't that a completely different topic?
When you think about Seuss.
Okay.
Seuss?
No. So, in 1979, the Vietnamese army invaded Cambodia. This was in response to Pol Pot's attempt to take over Vietnam, which, again, failed epically.
Wow. Pol Pot kind of sucked at this whole dictator thing, didn't he?
Yeah, kinda. And if you think about it...
If the U.S. didn't have a conflict with Vietnam, they could have stopped the genocide sooner.
But that didn't happen. Thank you for listening to our dreadful voices for the past 5 minutes.
Thank you for listening to our dreadful podcast. Until next time.